Oh, it's so nice to be complete on Blondie. Really loved collecting their records. Wait, what? It's meant to be 2 albums ago in the middle here. They'd never been put on vinyl before. God damn it.
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby.
So that's right. This is a thread, alright? I haven't put that in the title, but this is a thread. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Now, if you are watching this, and if you do make YouTube videos, if you want to join in with this discussion, it is a thread. So what is this video? These are albums which I think should be put out or remastered on vinyl. And the reason I'm making it a thread is because these are albums which I want, ones that I think should be remastered on vinyl. These are artists I collect. People watch my videos, some people collect different artists to me, so this is why it's a thread. If you want to talk about records which you think should be remastered on vinyl, please feel free to join in. Let me know as well, because I'd be really interested to see what ones you guys are talking about. But these are going to be albums which I think should be remastered, repressed to vinyl, because either they don't have vinyl pressings already, or they're just really rare. So anyway, I got a few albums here which I want to talk about, which I don't own at all, so I've just had to write them down. Some of which I do already own on vinyl, but they're so difficult to get hold of. I just want other people to experience them. And some of them I got on CD, because either they're stupidly expensive on vinyl, or that they just don't have vinyl pressings. So, a couple that I want to talk about first, which I actually do own on CD, I just forgot to bring over here. 2 soundtracks, both by Phil Collins. One is for Tarzan, and one is for Brother Bear. Both of these are great Disney films, and they also have fantastic songs on there. It's got my favourite work by Phil Collins on, so yeah, I had to include them. Then there's pretty much all of Kate Bush's catalogue, one of which I do own on vinyl. I'm going to show this. Everything from like the 90s onwards. So the Reissued, I have a Russian pressing of this, which isn't great, but I'd love to get a nice reissue where like they got an official back cover at least. That would be brilliant. But yeah, pretty much every Kate Bush record from the 90s onwards. Like the Stones, there's Voodoo Lounge, Bridge to Babylon, A Bigger Bang. Paul Simon's got a few albums which I'm missing. Songs from Cateman, You're the One and Surprise. Yeah, I know all of them albums are meant to be,
well, that's garbage.
but I still kind of want them albums because I want to be complete. And I hear Surprise is alright. I don't hear it's great, but I wouldn't mind listening to it. I haven't picked it up on CD because I didn't really want to waste the money, because apparently they're that bad. But, you know, I'd like to own them on vinyl still. Here comes a bit of a guilty pleasure of mine. Everyone knows I'm a Beatles fan. I love their solo careers. So, yeah, I do want to get complete on Ringo. He's still got Vertigo Man, Ringo Rama, Choose Love, and Liverpool 8, all still to be put out on vinyl. So it'd be nice for them to get remastered. Hey, they done I Wanna Be Santa Claus, for God's sake. I mean, surely they can do them for. And then we got Paul Weller. And I think everything up to Saturn's Pattern needs to be put out on vinyl. Even the ones that they did try to reissue, because they're so stupidly expensive. Just make nice cheap versions of them, so people like me can afford them. But yeah, everything from Paul Weller. I really like Paul Weller. I really want to collect his records, but they're so expensive, I refuse to go there. But anyway, that's everything on that bit of paper. Now I've got some on CD here, which a lot of these I've bought because there are no vinyls, and a few of these I've bought because the vinyls are stupidly expensive. So there's 2 Fleetwood Mac ones. One's called In Time, I think, which I don't own, and Say You Will, which I do own. This is a really good album. I really like this album. It kind of feels like a modern day Rumours, so that would be good on vinyl. Blondie, as we saw in the intro there, I love Blondie. Really am a big Blondie fan. And Deborah Harry as well, she's fantastic. So there's No Exit, which is not an album I'm a big fan of, but I'd like to own it on vinyl. Same goes for this one. This is The Curse of Blondie. And it'd be interesting if they did a vinyl, because there's 2 different covers. They could either go with that one, or they could go with that cover, because they promoted the album with this cover, but then the CD always came with this. So it'd be very interesting to see what cover they went with if they done a vinyl. I don't know what, I think I'm going to say this one of the band. That's the one I prefer. But, yeah. And then there is a Deborah Harry solo one. This is called, what is this called? Necessary Evil. And this isn't a bad album, actually. This is kind of entertaining. So another band which people know I'm a big fan of is Madness. There are a couple Madness records which need to be reissued. A couple are solo Suggs records. Yes, he has a couple solo records. The first one isn't that bad. This is The Lone Ranger, where he covers a lot of great songs, and it's a really interesting listen. It's not very good, really, I'm not going to lie, but it's an interesting listen. His second album is terrible, The Three Pyramids. But again, if they put out a cheap copy of it on vinyl, I'd probably buy it because I'd want to own it because I just love Madness. And then this is a good album. This needs to be put out. This is called Wonderful. This is a really good album. Has one of Madness's biggest hits from the 90s. Love Struck, which opens up the album. And yeah, so they need to put that on vinyl. And we will revisit Madness in a little bit in the video. When it comes to Eric Clapton, there is a lot of Eric Clapton which needs to be reissued on vinyl. One of which is this, because it's never been put on vinyl. This is Sessions for Robert J, which is pretty much a studio album. They've taken out all of the clapping, because apparently it is live. They've taken out all of that. It literally sounds just like Me and Mr. Johnson, the album. It is just Eric Clapton covering Robert Johnson songs. There's some great stuff on here, including Sweet Home Chicago, which I personally absolutely love. I think it's a great cover. You can already get that, though, on the complete Clapton vinyl. A big one for people is Robert Plant. Big one for me, because I absolutely love Robert Plant. And a lot of his work in the middle of his solo career is very, very tricky to get on vinyl. One of which is Fate of Nations. This one's somewhat gettable on vinyl, but you're still looking at over £50. So, again, a reissue for like 15-20 quid would be absolutely beautiful. There's two Robert Plant Jimmy Page albums, No Quarter and Walking to Clarksdale. I think that's what it's called. Personally, I'm not a big fan of either of the ones he done with Jimmy Page, but again, I'd like to own them still. I mean, the first one's alright. The first one's decent. And then his next two albums I absolutely love. And by the way, all these Robert Plant ones are on vinyl, but like this one, for example, Dreamland, you're looking at about £800 minimum. And it's a shame because it's such a good album. But again, just a nice, simple reissue for 20 quid. I'd buy it in a heartbeat. I'd be all over this. It'd be fantastic. Robert Plant is one which desperately needs reissues. Desperately. And this is potentially my favourite Robert Plant album. Between this and Lullaby and the Ceaseless Roar. This is The Mighty Rearranger, which is an incredible album. Absolutely incredible. I'd adore to have this on vinyl. Again, this one's somewhat gettable. You're looking at about £100 probably. But again, I'm not going to pay that for it. I want to get one that's about probably in that £20 range. That'd be brilliant. A nice little reissue. And then another guy who we're going to talk about a lot in this video is Sir Paul McCartney. Luckily, it looks like he is slowly getting on the right path because he has announced that he's reissuing Chaos, which is a big one for a lot of people, his 2005 album. But here's something which I really wanted to do. These first three have never been put on vinyl before. Good Evening New York City. This is my favourite live album from McCartney. I grew up with this one, that's why. I just love it, I think it's great. The reopening of Shea Stadium. Back in the World, back in the US. Never been put on vinyl, needs to be. And I personally really love McCartney when he does his conducting and he does his orchestrated stuff. And Et Cor Meum has not been put on vinyl, and I'd really love this to be put on vinyl. Okay, so the next lot I actually do... Oh, also I'm going to chuck in Standing Stone, because I do not own that. That's the only McCartney vinyl I believe I'm missing at the minute in terms of his actual catalogue. So yeah, Standing Stone for a reissue as well. But now I'm going to get onto the actual records I do own and show you guys these. And say... Wait for reissues. If these pop up for reissues, guys, I beg you to get these. If not, if you don't want to wait, pick up cheap CDs of these. You know, just give these albums a try, because these are albums which I don't see talked about very often. Because in this I'm going to do my quotes. In this BC, people don't talk about these because they're very rare. And I don't think people really get a chance to listen to them because they're very rare. So anyway, here we go. David Bowie, Earthling. It's a really weird but really good record. I really enjoy that album. One which I think people should check out. Black Tie, White Noise, David Bowie. This one here really gets forgotten for some reason. I think it's just because of the weird record label he was on with this one. But yeah, I'm not sure if this one will get reissued. Everyone says it never will. But it's a really fun album. It's not that bad, to be honest. And I really, really hope it does get reissued one day, so that more people can check it out. And this is a really good record. This is really good. This is a reissue. This is not an original, but the reissues are even really rare now. So I need to reissue it again. This is, oh, what's this one called? I forgot the name of it. This is Outside, which is an incredible album. Absolutely fantastic. And again, it's one of my favourite Bowie records, actually. It's really good. So we're going to go back to Clapton now. One of which I forgot to mention was the Eric Clapton and Steve Winwood concert, which I done in 2008, I believe. I do not own it on vinyl, Blu-ray or CD. I'd love to own the vinyl, but again, it goes for about £150. So I am hopeful that Record Store Day one year we'll see a reissue of it. But here's some other Clapton ones. Chronicles of Clapton. It's a fantastic compilation. But why would I put a compilation in this list? Because there's two unique songs to it which you can't get anywhere else. Blue Eyes Blue and I Get Lost, which are both incredible songs. So at the minute, this is the only way to get those songs on vinyl. Unless you buy like the 12 inches, but even they go for a lot. And Blue Eyes Blue, I don't think you can get on a 12 inch. So I think that is generally the only place you can get Blue Eyes Blue. But they're both incredible songs. Two of my very favourite Clapton songs. If you watch my Eric Clapton Perfect Playlist video, you'll see both of them made it. So they're great songs. I really want people to hear them. But without a reissue, it's just very unlikely. And then there are two really good Eric Clapton records, which I nearly pulled Road to Escondido out, but I left that one away because I know that some people are not a big fan of that one. But these are two Eric Clapton records which I think people will really enjoy. This is Reptile, where Clapton goes quite heavy at times. Nice heavy rock stuff on this one, with songs like Superman Inside, Second Nature. It's really good. Really good. And one of the most fun Eric Clapton records you can possibly get, Back Home. Desperately needs a reissue. It's fantastic. It's an incredible record. One of my very favourites from Clapton. It has classic songs like So Tired. He covers some Stevie Wonder stuff on here. And it has a fantastic little acoustic number at the end called Back Home, which is fantastic. Now, from Mr. Phil Collins, he did just reissue everything. So what could I possibly have to show from Phil Collins that isn't the two Disney soundtracks? Going back. Yeah, he just basically reissued 2/3 of the album. He didn't reissue the whole album. So it'd be nice to get all of those songs reissued. Not that we desperately need them, but again, I think people are missing out not getting the full version of this album, because it is just what... I respect that album a lot, because it is like you're sitting down and you'll get thrown back in time. It's not just a covers album, which is what the new one feels like. Whereas this one has a lot more on it, and it feels like you are being thrown back in time. Whereas the new one just feels like Phil struggling to cover some of these songs. We're going to go back to Madness now, because I am very lucky to own these two albums from Madness on vinyl. This is the Danger Men Sessions, Volume 1. Are you going to do a Volume 2 Madness? This is Madness covering a lot of their favourite songs. They pick some really interesting numbers, one of which is Lola by the Kinks. They do a good job. It's not as good as the original, but they do a good job. So yeah, very interesting choice there. And probably Madness's best album, The Liberty of Norton Folgate. And a lot of Madness fans miss this album because it's so rare on vinyl. So yeah, they need to reissue this one so that Madness fans can pick it up, because there's a lot of Madness fans out there and they miss that album because they only buy the records. And it's probably their best one. So again, it really badly needs to be reissued. now we're going to go back to Paul McCartney. Now, I have a lot from Paul McCartney, so I'm going to go a bit quick. So we got Unplugged, really good live album, which people need to hear. Off the Ground, which is an incredible studio album. I absolutely love this album. I don't know why some people were harsh on it. But yeah, that needs to be reissued badly, because I feel like that one kind of gets forgotten. Everyone remembers Flowers in the Dirt, and then everyone can skip forward to Flaming Pie quite easily. But then everyone kind of forgets that one, which is weird. This is very hard to get. Not many people own it. And again, it'd be nice to see more people own this. Paul is live. And then, yeah, I did pull out the Fireman albums. I seriously doubt these are going to get reissued. But we got Strawberry Ocean's Ships Forests, I think it's called. I know there's a lot of Paul completists out there like me. I really think you should just knuckle down and buy the Fireman albums if you want to be complete, because I highly doubt they're going to get reissued. But again, there's always hope. Flaming Pie is a big one. A lot of people's favourite Paul album. Possibly my favourite Paul album. So I'd really love to see more people get into that. Here's the other Fireman album, Rushes. Run Devil Run. An incredible, well, not incredible. It's a really good, really fun album. Which again, I kind of don't see many people talk about. Working Classical. Got a compilation here which I recently got, which I didn't spend loads on, but I've been waiting so long because it always goes for a lot. Wingspan. Driving Rain. I know some people don't like this album. I quite like it. It goes for stupid amounts. I got a feeling there'll be a reissue of that coming soon. Twin Freaks. I really enjoy this record for some reason. It's really fun. But I think a lot of people avoid that one like the plague as well. Don't need to show Chaos, which is nice because we've got a reissue of that coming. And the last McCartney one I'm going to show is Memory Almost Full. Again, I really feel like this is probably coming as well now, so it's just a matter of time, I think. But it's such a good record. That and Chaos, just superb. I've only got two more records to show, and 3 to talk about, really, because I just thought of another one. This is Keys of the Kingdom by the Moody Blues. Moody Blues are a really easy band to get complete on, and I've nearly done it. I'm still waiting just to pick a couple up. I'm just waiting for car boots because they're so cheap. But then this one here goes for a lot. It's like you get all the way to their last album, because this is their last album, and then you just struggle. So again, it'd be nice if they just chuck this one out as a reissue, just so that people could just wrap their collections up nice and easy. Plus, I don't see people talk about that one much, and it's a really good album, so it'd be nice for that one to get some spotlight again. And then from Peter Gabriel, I have a couple. I want to talk about Ovo. I really like Ovo. And there's not a vinyl copy of it out there yet, so I would personally love to see a vinyl copy of that. And then there's New Blood. I really enjoy this album. I know some people don't like it. I do. And I think a lot of other people would, but they just got to get their hands on it, because the record goes for about £80 plus. But anyway, those are the records which I want to be reissued the most personally. So yeah, there's a lot, but as I say, this is a thread. If you guys want to get involved, please do. Please make a video. I'd be so interested to see what you guys have to say. What records you want to see reissued? And if they're the same as mine, well, hey, fair enough. Express your opinion. That's the whole point of this. Hopefully someone will see this and we might get some of these reissues. But anyway, nevertheless, thank you so much for watching, guys. Please hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave a message, and I'll see you guys next time for another video.